iRacing presents to you here tonight the iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series opener here at Daytona International Speedway, getting set for Season 4. To kick things off here at Daytona, premiering live on MaxspeedTV here for tonight. My name is EZECKIEL REYES.
I am Dewey Schramm. There's no better place to start a season off than on the high banks of Daytona International Speedway, and we're going to do just that here in a couple of moments. So we'll dive right in here. I believe we're already in qualifying, so we'll see where everybody shakes out on the board here as we get our first race of the season underway. Looks like 8 or 9 drivers have taken a time so far, with Latham Joyner being the fastest of them. And as the session goes on, you'll see more and more names start to populate that board.
Definitely. You'll see, I'd say half of the drivers are going to qualify, half of the drivers are going to lay back. It's a season opener, 80 laps here at Daytona, so it should be a fairly lengthy one here for tonight. Same as same as just yesterday on the ACOG side of things, but here with Bundy, as it's nicknamed and dubbed here around the service, kicking off the 4th season. And with Blaze, I think Blaze McKinney came out as the champion last season. He's looking to go kick off this one up top.
Yeah, and of course, all the drivers in this field would love to start off their campaign with a victory here tonight, as Brady Wildman in the 44 jumps to the top of the charts above the 3 of Joyner. As you get a look at Alexander Schumacher here in the 68, looks like he's a custom number on for tonight as he makes his way down the back straightaway. We'll see where he shakes out amongst the people already on the board.
Yeah, I should see a lot of shuffling with this board, and we are running custom numbers here for tonight, so there might be a bit of confusion around. I see Benjamin A. White sporting a Nebula Esports car, which that's fairly interesting to see him in that number 11. Riley Morabello in that number 92. He currently slots himself in 4th. Latham Joyner in the number 3. He's sitting in 5th position right now. Landon Mills, he's working himself down on, looks like has a patriotic scheme, as well as with Nebula Esports. So a lot of Nebula Esports cars roaming around right now.
Yeah, we'll see how well they all decide to work together here in the race tonight, as Benjamin and Parker White now go to 2 and 3 on the board. Mirabello slots himself in 4th. Here's Storm Patterson in the 6th. William Schmidt in the 79. A couple of those looks like will not take time here tonight, as we do get a look at Michael Kenner in the 98. There's about 30 seconds left here in qualifying. I don't know if he's going to make it around to complete his second lap. It's going to be really close to see if he can get it in.
You have to see as he works himself down the back, but Patterson is actually in this. It looks like he's being displayed in the 63. He's running a 6 machine scheme-wise, so you're gonna see a lot of confusing schemes. I know Yurik is also in a number 6, so we should have to point that out to clear up some confusion and stuff like that. But we do hit the double zeros with qualifying, and with that being set, we'll go ahead and just drive into our race statistics here for tonight. So we're running 70% fuel here out on the racetrack. Therefore, that means that fuel window, what we saw just yesterday, is going to be a bit smaller here for tonight. Therefore, I should say about 28 to 32 is as far as you could stretch it.
Yeah, so looks like we'll have a 2-stop race here for tonight. And of course, depending on how many yellows come up, you may see a few more than that. But we'll have 4 tire sets for the drivers at their disposal tonight. Pit road speed at 60 miles per hour, so have to keep our eye out for potential pit road speeding penalties if we have a long enough green run for those stops. 31 degrees in banking here at Daytona, 2.5 miles in track length, and the 80 laps for tonight will even out to 200 miles. So pretty decently long race here for tonight, and we'll see who can survive and take the checkered flag first.
Now we'll have to see, as that 44, Brady Wildman, will start himself up top of the board. So that number 44 going to be starting up in 1st position. You see right alongside of him Benjamin A. White in that number 11. We saw him lead laps in the truck race yesterday. Hopefully he can lead laps here in the Xfinity car yet again, starting in 2nd spot as well.
Yeah, and he won the pole for that truck event over in ACOG last night as well. So 2nd day in a row, he'll have a front row starting spot here at Daytona, and we'll go through the rest of the starting lineup here as there's Blaze McKinney, the 87 defending series champion, as he opens up his campaign to try to go back-to-back here in the Bungeon Lawn Care Series. And speaking of, there's our league owner, Glenn Bungeon. Looks like he's going to start deeper in the field here for tonight. We'll see if he can work his way up through the field and see if he can score the victory here in race number 1.
And we'll go over our order here for tonight's Bungeon Lawn Care Series Daytona 200, the 4th initiation of this season opener. As we're going to kick things off here at the virtual side at Daytona. Brady Wildman starting row number 1 alongside with Benjamin A. White in that number 11.
Row number 2, Parker White in the 95 and Riley Marabello in the 92.
Row number 3 going to consist of Hayes Booth in that number 2. You got Latham Joyner in that number 3.
And in row 4, Michael Kenner in the 98. Looks like he did get that second lap in right before the buzzer. And to his outside, Landon Mills in the 34.
Last row we're going to read off. Looks like it's going to be Cameron McCone, I guess you'd say, in that number 04, and Aiden Kirker in this number 39. A lot of familiar names within this grid, but a lot of names we're going to have to learn through as we continue here for tonight's broadcast. Rest of the orders going to be shown on your screen. Find your favorite driver, and hopefully they'll win here for tonight. We got a lot of drivers. Let's scroll through 36 or 37 drivers here for tonight, so it should be a fun one from start to finish.
Yeah, and a lot of good drivers here throughout this field. There's Mark Frimpong, Brody Gardner, Sartaj Mon, Frank DeAngelis starting deeper in the field tonight. William Schmidt, who got second last night in the ACOG truck event here at Daytona. And towards the last couple of rows, looks like it'll be Glenn Bungeon and Henry Tabor bringing up the rear here for the start of this one. 80 laps on tap here for tonight. Brady Wildman on pole. Season opener for Season 4 of the Bungeon Lawn Care Series. We're just about ready to go green here for 80 laps. We'll see who comes out on top to start off the season.
Yep, we'll have to see. 80 laps going to go into the books here for this 200-mile event. Bungeon Lawn Care Series is back in business. Season 4 is up and away, and here we go at Daytona.
Bit of a slow start there around 10th or 12th place. Somebody didn't really get going, and that's going to bunch everybody up back there. And we'll have a brief breakaway towards the front, as, of course, still side-by-side here into one between Wildman and Benjamin White. And it looks like a couple of cars are already going to dive down to the bottom, so you may see a strategy where maybe we go single file for the first bit of the race and maybe get a bit aggressive further on. And in evidence of that, you see a couple of cars starting to dive onto the apron and head their way towards the back for now.
Drivers who did not start the race, Bridger Olson in the 59, he's yet to grid up. He is not displaying, as well as Nick Miller in the 19, late entry, so that'll make it 37 cars in total in this event. Up front, though, Brady Wildman in the 44 will lead it off to turn number 4. He's being followed in by the 2 of Hayes Booth as they work themselves to the tri-oval. First lap of the season going to be led by this number 44. He'll pull it to the front.
Yeah, the 2 cars already picked up a couple spots since the drop of the green, and he'll jump up to the top in front of Benjamin White in the 11. And down the back, looks like Hayes Booth has a good shot here to take this race lead away from Wildman. As you see one car get a bit high there in the middle of the corner. That was Marabello in the 92. As Latham Joyner now to the backside of Wildman, and still even down the back.
Outside line's going to form forward as they pull just about even, coming into 3. Never mind at that, the inside line's going to surge through the turn. It's the 44 of that number 44, Brady Wildman, leading that low side, attached to his rear end. That's the number 3, Latham Joyner. Now we're going to take it 3 wide, all the way up against the barrier. That's going to be the 25, I think. I'm not really sure, but they're trying to make a third line work. That's one of the Nebula cars. Unfortunately, they have no help, so back they go.
Yeah, it might be a bit confusion with identifying cars, as some cars do have custom numbers that are different than what's being displayed on the ticker. But yeah, that Nebula car that went up there had zero help whatsoever, so he'll slap back in line there on the second line after dropping, looks like, about 4 or 5 spots. Into 3, looks like Booth can't quite come down to the bottom in front of Wildman just yet, but there we go, 3 wide once again. That Nebula car up there, the 25, trying again.
Still side by side up front. Drivers clearing down low. The 92 of Marabello found a spot right in front of, I think that was the 98 of Michael Kenner. And Kenner is going to follow himself in line now fourth in line, as a bit of blinking there by Marabello. You don't want to blink on the super speedway. Not only does it affect draft, but it affects the whole entire line. You need to have a stable connection to run up front.
Yeah, we saw last night over in ACOG here at Daytona, there were multiple wrecks that were caused by netcode. So connection issues are always one of the biggest things here at races like this. And even if you don't think you're close enough to someone to cause a wreck, sometimes it ends up happening anyway. So hopefully anyone that is blinking right now can get that connection issue squared away quickly. As two lines still side by side, there's a bit of jostling there up high as the car with the flames in the front, I can't tell the number, takes a 3 already.
Yeah, that's the number 17.
Whoa,
four wide!
Yeah, somebody got a bad bump there into one, and they briefly went 4 wide as that white car still in the outside wall. And they're going to lose quite a few spots. That's Jacob Tyler May in the number 10 machine. And he was just looking inside the top 10. Looks like he's going to fall to outside the top 20 now. So rough break there already for the 10. But still plenty of time to try to gain that ground back. 17,
Nicole Woody was a part of that 4 wide scuffle. They keep it rolling for right now as they jam up a bit on the high side. It's the number 21. I think that... still a lot of scrambling. There we go!
First wreck of the night, the 839 of Aiden Kirker spins along with the 17 of Cole Woody. They go spinning down onto pit road, and because they spun onto pit road, there's no caution for that wreck at all, so we stay green, and that is a rough break for both of those cars.
Oh man, that's very unfortunate. Woody toes it, and he's gonna be out of contention, but that 39, it seems as though he didn't pick up as much damage as he thought he would have. And we keep ourselves green for right now, but in turn, that has spread out the field big time. We have at least, I'd say, I put it at a...
It's like about a 10-car breakaway.
Yeah, about a 10-car breakaway. Car in the wall. There they go again!
There we go again! Benjamin White goes around. Huge hit for one car there in the outside wall. And this will bring out the caution for the first time tonight. So a great break there for Aiden Kirker. And he gets plowed there. That's the 52 of Gabriel Edwards. Got run into there by the 4 of Jonathan Jones. So the first caution of the night is a lifesaver for Aiden Kirker. But a couple other cars here in some early trouble.
Oh man. If the pack was still all formed up together, that would have involved a lot of more people than it would have. But we're going to see a replay here on MaxspeedTV to see on what happened through coming into turns number 3. But they started to go 3 by 3. Everybody started to wash up and such like that. And unfortunately, some contact was made. And around they all went.
Yeah, that black car behind Benjamin, I can't make out the number on that, was the first car I saw around, and he ended up clipping the 11. So you see him making a move up there on the top with the 02.
Yeah, that's Gabriel Edwards in the 52. The 02, I think, was... I'm not really sure who that car was. It might have been Brady Wildman. No, it's not Brady. Brady's on the low side, but regardless, looks like...
We got the wall.
Yeah, he just tagged the wall.
Came back off, and then right into Benjamin White and Latham Joyner. And I mean, nothing either of them could do. And the 04, I mean, nothing he could do either. That red car gets slammed into. Big hit there. And the 52 was going to get hit here by the 4 of Jonathan Jones as all the cars that were laying towards the back came towards the wreck.
Oh, the 04 gets caught up in it. You see the 02 of Josh Kosick.
Oh!
And that's the 9 of Drew Holleran, who got ran into right there on the low side, and they all started to pile up a bit more. And right here, last second, you'll see a car pile in.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was Jonathan Jones in the 4. Oh, so he was still going full speed, and I don't know if he spun off of someone's bumper?
Oh, the 10 of Jacob Tyler May ran into the 87 of McKinney, who bumped him into the 4, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, chain reaction there from the 10. The 10 was the one that had that incident earlier where he ended up in the wall and lost about 15 spots. So it looks like we have our first pit stops of the night. Most of the field making their way down pit road. Looks like the only one that didn't is JJ Hill in the 8 car. So it looks like he'll be the leader here for the restart. with Wildman coming off in second.
Yeah, so the interesting thing here about pit stops is this fuel window. So it's a smaller fuel cap. What we had that was ran during ACOG. ACOG was 75%. This is 70%. So it's lowering around, I'd say, 28 to 32 laps. So it still should be about a two-stop race, but that smaller fuel cap might be a bit of an issue if we do see around, I'd say, a 35 to go restart.
Yeah, if we have a restart with about 30 or 35 to go, there's definitely going to be some fuel saving that takes place. We saw that last night over in ACOG where Nick Miller saved just enough to take the checkered flag first, and I believe he ran out on the cooldown lap. So we'll see if that ends up happening again here tonight as we take the 1 to green. And I think there were some people that came back down pit road to top off. So it might be a little bit of a messed up restart here, as I think everyone that pits with 1 to go has to restart single file.
Yep, that's correct. That's based off of iRacing rules right there. Everybody who pits with 1 lap to go has to line up on the inside line. So, single file. So that's going to be a bit of a problem if they did top off on fuel, and you still see a fair amount of people on pit road. That did involve, I'd say, everybody from 28th on back. So we've eliminated at least 9 cars off of that big wreck. But you also got to mention that small wreck that occurred with Aiden Kirker and Cole Woody. Both of those drivers are out of the race, and that happened off of turn number 4.
Yeah, we thought that caution that came out would have ended up saving Kirker's race, but it looks like he ended up disconnecting. And it looks like Landon Mills in the 34 also out of the running now as well. I'm not sure what happened with him, but out of the race regardless. So JJ Hill stays out this time and will lead us back to the green. Wildman, our pole sitter, will be back in P2. Looks like Glenn Bungert in the 37 also stayed out this time, or maybe went fuel only. Blake Rochon in the 12, now up there as well. Alexander Schumacher and Blaze McKinney, despite being in that wreck, looks like he's now in the top 10.
Yeah, it seems as though 44, 37, and 2, all fuel only. The only person who really stayed out off of that exchange on pit road was the 8 of JJ Hill, who's going to be leading it to the green flag. Speaking of, we're up and away here at Daytona for the first restart of the season.
And I think JJ spun the tires right there, and that's going to bunch everybody up on both lines here into turn 1. That should be of aid to Brady Wildman on that high side. But even though it looked like that was going to be help, he only has 1 other car. JJ turns, and they're all trying to save it. There's 3 or 4 cars all drifting through the grass right now, and all of them hold on, except for one who's upside down, sliding up the track. Caution is back out here on lap number 10. And just as we thought everybody had it saved, Alexander Schumacher ends up on his roof, and that will he'll likely be out of the race as a result of that. But what a bizarre wreck that was, where the leader got turned, everybody was drifting, panned the camera back, and we got one upside down.
Oh man, unfortunate for that. Number 68 of Alexander G. Schumacher. And we're going to go ahead and take a replay off of that restart. Some cars, they didn't get going real well. I think Blake Grosjean in that number 12, he didn't get going, and after that everybody sort of started to bottle around, but it was up front is where it all happened, and it seems as though, boop!
Oh, I think the 8 might have brushed the apron and came back up, and then got clipped by the 2 of Hayes Booth. Not really sure, though.
Yeah, and that was the 2 of Hayes Booth, I mean, in the 8 of JJ Hill. Regardless, they made contact, and here comes everybody stacking up.
Yeah, he drifts it down under the apron. There's D Mantova drifting it. Schumacher was one of those down there. Marabello's down there. And then we'll see where Schumacher flips over. You see, he's the gray car that's now in the grass.
Oh, no. Don't tell me what's about to happen. I think he hit the... Boop! I knew it.
Oh, no!
I knew it. I have done that before on iRacing. That is a terrible feeling. You're trying to save the car. You think I have it fine, and you hit that one part of the access road.
Did he miss him?
No!
Oh.
And that was a 3 of Latham Joyner, who had nowhere to go off of that exchange.
Oh, man.
Everybody would have had it fine, and we would have stayed green, but the 68 ran over the part where the ambulances and stuff
He's
go
ramped
in.
right off of it, ramped
Yeah.
off the access road.
And I've done that before. It's a surprising feeling. You'd never know that bump is there until you hit it. And that 68 just, he hit it wrong.
Yeah, everybody else had it saved, and then the 68, unfortunately, I mean, of all the ways to end up out of a race, that is one way for sure. But everybody else kept it straight. So despite the fact that that looked like it was going to be a really big wreck, we only ended up with one car upside down, and that was pretty much it. Except for the... as Latham also ends up with some front-end damage, but with the way the leader... I mean, the leader got turned in front of an entire pack, so the fact that that was only a two-car incident was, you know, gravy. It's unfortunate, of course, for Schumacher and Joyner, but that could have been at least a 25-car wreck, worst case.
Yeah, man. That's unfortunate for Latham. He's
Wow.
minding his own business, and here comes a car straight out of nowhere, and it flies right into him. I mean, not only that, the car's not even on four wheels coming at you, and you're going, what in the world just happened?
Yeah, Latham's onboard must be crazy. See if you can get a look at it here. So this is right off the restart, so you'll see everybody start to scramble here with everybody, or those cars towards the bottom that are trying to slow it down to avoid the wreck. And there you see that the gray car hits the access road, right up and over he goes. Everybody else makes it through, and then right into your windshield. I mean, everybody else missed it, and then Latham was the one, unfortunately, that got right in the crossfire of that.
Not only that, a nice avoidance there by the 53 of Frimpong. He saw the car coming up, he whipped it right just in time to avoid that flipping 68. And Frimpong escapes that damageless. He's being displayed as the 051, but comes in as the 53.
Looks like he overshot his stall a little bit, but no harm, no foul there. So we'll get the 1 to green. Wildman back to the lead here after briefly losing it to JJ Hill. JJ's going to restart in 5th. Looks like he stayed out here. So a very wacky restart there. Blake Rochon now in 2nd. Michael Kenner up to 3rd. McKinney in 4th. And Glenn Bundren, who started himself in 35th, now up to P6, just 12 and a half laps into the race.
Yeah, your league owner. That number 37 of Glenn Bundren coming in here, you know, running fine for right now, up at the 6th spot. So Glenn having a nice charge up through the field. I don't know where he started though, but he started himself, looks like, all the way back in 36th spot. He's probably the person who's gained the most positions as of right now. I'm very curious to see that statistic, actually. We'll pull it up here on the left-hand side of the screen to see on where everybody is out on the racetrack. Oh, that's the wrong one, but here we go. . Survey says you'll see 12 of Rojan has gained 31, and Glenn has gained 30. Green flag. And Rojan does not get a great restart like what we saw last time.
Yeah, it's going to hold up McKinney and Bundren up on the top. Now to allow Michael Kenner to pull up side by side for that 2nd spot. As Rochon goes a bit high into 1, and I think McKinney thought about taking it 3 wide there, but then changed his mind, as the outside still really isn't formed up at all, and that's going to allow JJ Hill now to get back into 3rd.
Not a lot of drivers got a good launch off that restart, and a lot of drivers toward the back are fairly fanned out. A lot of confusion going back there and who's working with who. They get themselves rolling, though, coming into 3. And up front, Brady Wildman, the man who started up front, leads this thing on lap 14.
Couple cars go up to the top. William Schmidt in the 79, one of those, who finished in 2nd last night in the ACOG Truck Series race here at Daytona. He's got help from Nick Miller, who won that race. So the 1-2 from last night, now in inverse order, up on that top side, as they propel themselves up to the race lead.
Yep, the 79 of Schmidt's going to be able to clear Wildman, and to the bottom of the racetrack goes the 79. Going to open up the door for Nick Miller. And the number 19 running the team machine. He has a push from your series champion, that 87, Blaze McKinney down the back straightaway. And there's a lot of experience between those two drivers. I'm pretty sure those might be the ones to beat via experience. They just need to be in the right place with 5 to go.
And I see Shane DiMantova in the 20 back up there as well, despite being in that first incident. Up to the back bumper now of McKinney, and he's got JJ Hill behind him. He was third on the bottom, but now finds himself third up top at about 8th place. So still a bit of shuffling going on here as he try to get deeper into this run, and it looks like Hill may have just door banged somebody back there, but they keep it straight.
Big separation between the number 3 of Latham Joyner, who's multiple laps down. Of course, he's damaged, currently 1 lap down. As Yurik, Yurik who's worked around him. You see, I think that's the 5 of Brandon Palnetto. You got the 2 of Hayes Booth, who's also working around this 3, and this 3 is, because he's damaged, he's sort of separated the pack into 2. And now, since they've realized that 3 has a bit of damage, they're slowly working around him, so we should see a bigger pack formed up here in just a moment. But for right now, we got 10 cars up in the mix for the lead.
And you see Miller, he got down to the bottom side in front of Schmidt to get the race lead away. Now Wildman, the lead car up top, trying to get the lead back after winning the pole here for tonight's race. But Miller's going to jump up and block the 44 as we have it on board with Michael Kenner, the 98 out of turn 2. I'm not sure if he just got a bump from somebody or if he decided to duck out of line and hope to avoid a wreck, but he will lose a couple spots regardless of what his intentions were, as Miller jumps back down to the bottoms, as does McKinney, and now Wildman by himself up top.
McKinney is all over the back bumper of that 19. It is so sketchy to push in the corners, and that 87 sort of tinkering around with a bit of a threshold right there.
It's a fine art.
It is a fine art to push through the corners and such. You got to do it right, though, because if you're off center by 1 inch, you're going to set off a big, big wreck.
Yeah, it's a very, very risky maneuver, but if you can pull it off in just the right way, it will pay big dividends. So we'll see who can successfully do that here tonight. As you see, the outside's pretty much collapsed at this point for the time being, as we're going to run mostly single file for right now, except for about 15th place. You see a lot of guys just swerving back there. Might be some horseplay, perhaps. The only cars really up top right now are Wildman and Yurik, as the 44 is going to lose all that ground he just gained back. And looks like Yurik left him out for a brief moment there. So I think those two are going to have to find a spot down in the bottom, and they might go single file for a bit.
Yeah, now is the time of the race in which everybody's sort of calming down and such, so now, I mean, you still got 60 laps left, a lot of time and racing left in tonight's 200-mile event. So everybody just minding their own business now and seeing who they could form up with. Maybe have a bit of a cool down, get a bit of a drink, and chill yourself out, as the 19 of Miller is going to swerve up high, and the 87 of Blaze McKinney is going to take the lead. He's going to drag a whole conga line right behind, and Miller is unfortunately going to have to probably look back to 10th or 12th place to find himself a hole to get back in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was him dropping back on purpose or what the deal there was, but regardless, he'll be back around 12th to 15th place, and that'll put our defending champion into the race lead here for the first time tonight.
Yep, that's right. More drivers pulling out and such. You see the 20, Shane DiMantova. He's going to pull out. No help with him, except all the way to the back there. That 95 of Parker White. More drivers going to start to pull out and such like that. 3 wide, and that's the 44 Wildman. You mentioned it. He's going 3 with Parker White in that 95. You know how good Parker is in that 95.
Yeah, and just as we thought that we're going to calm down for a bit and maybe go single file, we're all of a sudden starting to see that outside line form back up again. So we'll see how many cars decide to jump back up there. It looks like one of the, I can't tell what the hood logo is, but their teammate cars regardless. That's the 72 making a move up to the top side, trying to get the race lead away from Blaze McKinney. As we have a slower car here that's going to cause the entire inside to have to move up the lane.
Yeah, that's the 12 of Blake Rojon. You saw him race a couple of ACOG races back in the Street Stock Tour. And up on the high side, that's his teammate, Blaze Brinkley. So a few familiar names working themselves inside this top 5, and they're both teammates as well, so another team car, or another team pair, I'd say, to watch out for. That 72 and number 12 as Demantova blinks out just a bit, jams up the high side just momentarily. Brady Wildman sort of stabbing the brake just a bit to stay off of that 20.
Yeah, you saw McKinney briefly get the apron there out of turn 4. That's what I was oohing and ahhing about right there. But he keeps it pointed in the right direction, and we'll see if Brinkley can clear down in front of the 87. I don't think he can, but we'll see if he can get a good enough run down the back from Demantova and Wildman to maybe do it into turn 3.
Wildman pulls out just momentarily. Looks like no help to his avail. He's going to slot himself in line, keep himself pointed straight for right now. He's third up on the high side, so long ways ahead. Long ways back to see some more help and such, so we'll have to see on how this will all go as a 12. Grosjean gets a bit sideways off of 4. Himself pointed for right now, the 55, Brody Garner. He wants to take it 3 wide, no help to his aid, but the 44, Brady Wildman, is making this a bit worse than what it's supposed to seem, as the 72, Blaze Brinkley, gonna hold the middle line through turns 1 and 2. Seems as though he doesn't want to drop to the bottom, right in front of the 87 of McKinney. Has the chance to, but the 20's gonna take it instead of himself.
Yeah, good move there from Demantova to get the lead away here into turn 3. But you saw the inside briefly fall apart a little bit. McKinney hit the apron a couple times, and it cost him a little bit of time, and that allowed Brinkley to pull a bit ahead. But at the line, looks like it's going to be Demantova leading his first lap of the night there in that 20 machine, but the 72 still right there side by side.
See how fanned out this field has become off of those incidents. We're left with 24 cars on the lead lap for right now. As we lap around again, I think that's Cameron McCone. Car on the apron, that's the 20. We just mentioned about his blinking issue. 3 wide yet again, and it's Brody Gardner being aggressive there on the high side. He's dragging that number 6, and Max Yerk with them. We're going to go 3 by 3.
Yeah, and McKinney, I think, hit the apron again, and there you see gives Brinkley an advantage for right now, but he's going to jump up and block the 55 of Brody and stall out that outside line. And I think the 72 is going to get it at the stripe, but we're 3 by 3 behind him for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, and the 44 is sort of left in what we call the sucker hole. Unfortunately, nowhere to go for that 44 Wildman. Now he gets a bit of help as the 72 drops to the middle line, middle lane. Doing a lot of mirror driving for right now up front. Steady job of keeping it there for right now, but you know, you could only mirror drive so much.
Yeah, and here comes Brody and Max. They got a big run, even though it's just the 2 of them up there. They have a huge head of steam right now, as Brody will pull even as we go 3 wide for the race lead. You're into the middle of 3 and 4, with McKinney nosing ahead on the bottom.
Yet again, the 72 of Brinkley is going to wash up right in front of the 55 of Gardner and open up the door for the 87 and the 44 Wildman and McKinney. Unfortunately, they're still not going anywhere. The 72 of Blaze, he's doing a very, very phenomenal job of keeping himself forward as the 55 finally clears to the middle line. He was thinking about going and cutting in front of the 87. Wasn't there, though. That 87's nose was to that quarter panel of the 55s.
Yeah, I don't think Brody's going to put up with being blocked like that again. I mean, nothing Brinkley did wrong, of course, but I'm sure Brody probably didn't appreciate the block regardless, so we'll see him stay up there now and try to get the lead away from the 72 with help from Wildman in that middle lane.
Yeah,
I mean, blocking, of course, a very common and integral part of super speedway racing, but, you know, of course, if you're the one being blocked, it can still be pretty annoying.
And not only that, we're on lap 27 out of lap 80. We have to cross the halfway point. There's a lot of time left in this race, and to block here on lap 27, it's controversial. People have feelings about that.
Varying opinions.
Yeah, definitely varying opinions about that, as Yurik's going to take it 3 again. Never mind that, ducks himself back in line. Here comes a pair of cats right behind. They're going to scoot themselves up into the mix. It's going to be the 37 of Glenn Bundren. He's dragging a teammate, I think a teammate with him there as well. No, it's never mind. That's the 8 of JJ Hill right behind. JJ is going to back out of it as the 37 of Bundren. He wants to challenge for the lead. He now works himself into 6th.
And Wildman either got taken 3 wide or moved up there himself, but we're going to go 3 wide again for a second, but the 44 is going to quickly lose that ground as the slow car was on the bottom. That's going to stack up everybody up, and the 44 gets into the wall, and this is really going to throw a wrench into this lead pack, and the 44 is the big loser out of all of that. He's going to lose, looks like 10 spots here down the backstretch.
Yeah, that was Josh Kosick in that 0-2.
Wow.
He held bottom, and that whole entire pack had a scoot up right against the wall, and they were 3 wide. So because of that,
waited last minute too.
Yeah, Brody in the 55, not meaning to put that 44 in the wall. He had to put him in the wall to make that work. And unfortunately for Wildman, he's gonna have a bit of right side damage. But if that move wasn't made by Brody, there would have been a big wreck involving the 0-2.
Yeah, and Wildman just fell down to 18th place. That cost him about 15 spots as a result of them having to move around that slower car. As the 72 of Brinkley washes up there in the middle of the corner, and that's going to stack everybody up once again. That was McKinney he almost got into, and the 87 is going to make a move down the back for the lead on the 79 of Schmidt.
Schmidt has a right front damage out of nowhere. I'm not really sure where he got it from, but Schmidt didn't lead last lap. He lost it by a .002 as he's getting left out to dry, but now up front, no surprise to see the 55 of Brody Gardner. Mr. Aggressive works himself into 2nd spot. He's gunning for the lead now on the high side.
And he's going to get a big push from the 12 of Rochon. And at the line, it looks like it's going to be McKinney, but Gardner is right there. As you have another car taking it 3 wide, but no help to answer.
You talk about experience and how aggressive you can turn up the knobs here. That 55 of Brody Gardner. Based off the races I've seen him run, this 55, you have to work with him. He's the one to probably beat here on the super speedway side, as we got a car in the wall right in behind it. He's gonna
that was a slower car they were getting around.
Yeah, and Brody moves himself up against the wall. Looks like he doesn't want to be a part of this front mess just yet, or not anymore. So he moves himself outside of this top 5. Gonna shuffle new names into the picture. JJ Hill. And it looks like the 6 of Urich trying to get back into the frame as you're going to take it 3 wide yet again around Urich. That's not going to work!
No. And there goes the 12 of Rochon and the 6 of Urich. Caution's going to be back out here.
Caution is out.
3rd of the night as another car gets collected in that. I believe that was one of the Nebula machines. But they were trying to pinch to get around the slower car, and they pinched a bit too much and ended up getting into each other.
Yeah, a lot of lap cars want to stay down low against the yellow line, and unfortunately for Rojan, things are not going to work to his favor. But yeah, that's the thing about lap cars and staying low. If you're out of pace and stuff like that, stay yourself up against the wall. Don't cause these leaders a headache. And unfortunately, there,
I think it was Hill and Urich were the first 2 I saw make contact, and then right here it's going to be Bundren.
Oh man, Latham was way off the yellow. But then he slid himself back in, and it looks like Rojan just came down on Urich.
Yeah, I think the 12 had already gotten a bit squirrely, though. And here he goes around Demantova.
Oh, man.
Just barely clips him. I think he'll be fine. And then right here he gets hit by...
Oh, that's the 55 of Garner. I was just talking great about him.
And a big hit for the 12 as well behind him. Yeah, Brody had just backed out of that lead pack to avoid getting into a wreck, and, well, he ended up getting into a wreck.
Not sure if he had contact there from the 53 of Frimpong, but bang, right there. That is unfortunate. That's to be so frustrating as well for that 55. You know you backed out of it for a reason, but you're still involved in a wreck.
Yeah, and I think he went below Latham to try to miss the wreck, and by going low, he ended up going right into the car that was spinning. Yeah, as Demantova locks it down as well.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a close call there as well. I don't think anybody else got collected in this. Looks like Urich also kept it going. So it looks like it was only Rochon and Gardner really getting the big pieces of that. But a tough break again for Brody, having just backed out and ended up getting into the one thing he backed out for. But that'll put us back under yellow here on lap 32. And I still think there are there's too many laps left to make it to the end on fuel. We'll still have one more stop from here. but I think we'll see almost everybody come down this time.
Oh, definitely, as they work themselves on pit road. I'd say their first of 2 scheduled stops here of the evening is going to be taking place as everybody works themselves on a pit road. And McKinney's in. McKinney worked himself from the lead. We'll see who comes out first, though. And survey says, not really sure who that person was. But you see McKinney working himself out now. So we put 23 cars on the lead lap for right now. And DeAngelis is scored as the race leader. I think he was the car who did decide to stay out. Indeed he was, and he pit started, so you're going to see a bit of a leaderboard issues. That's an ATVO problem, by the way. If you pit start, things go weird. And sessions don't display correctly. I mean, driver information doesn't display correctly. It's a weird glitch. And here on full display, unfortunately.
Yep, everybody is 30 laps down. Congrats to Frank DeAngelis on lapping the entire field 32 times. Massive W here for tonight's race, but looks like he'll come back down and top off on fuel. And we'll see if we get the 1 to go this time, but this will give the lead back to the 87 of McKinney, and indeed we do get the 1 to go. So we'll see how many other cars decide to top off, and if there's a lot of them, we may end up seeing another one of those mainly single-file restarts towards the back.
Yeah, I mean, we're still pretty close on that fuel window. I mean, you could stretch it all the way to 28 laps, but there's still about, I mean, if you split it halfway,
and about 40, I think about 46 at the line, so still well out of the fuel range.
Yeah, still well out of the fuel range, but you could divide 47 into 2, and you'll get your fuel one when drivers do want to hit pit road, but a lot of drivers decide to top off and fuel regardless, even though there was a bit of a leeway to that pit stop. So everybody,
if they decide to come halfway, that'll put them at around lap 57 or 58. So regardless if a caution comes out or not, I think for me that would be the magic number.
But if you want to stretch it all the way to the end, you should see them hit pit road. I mean, not only does it benefit you, of course, to make it all the way to the end, you could stretch it with green-white checkers if you wanna run the tank all the way dry with this run. So we'll have to see. And here we go. Everybody lined up single file right behind this, I think that's the 25, not really sure. But regardless, green flag. We are up and away. Off of the 4th restart of the night here on lap 34. William Schmidt did not get going up on the high side. He's going to be able to slot himself 3rd in line, but you see all those drivers who started single file. Sertaj Mon is a bit disconnected, but lucky for him, I think he's going to be able to latch on to this lead draft here in just a moment. Still got to get yourself up to speed. Takes a whole lap around here at Daytona to pull yourself forward.
It looks like there was one car back there that was way slower than any other one, and I think it held a couple more people up. But even though there was a single file restart, I think there's still enough people close enough to the draft where we should retain one bigger pack. But here comes Bundren now up into P2, trying to gun for the lead for the first time tonight after starting way back in 35th. So we'll see if he can get a run here up top and see if he can drag some people up there with him.
Yeah, these are the top 2 are both teammates. That 87 of Blaze McKinney and Glenn Bundren. Actually, both just really good friends. That 87 and 37, both running 1 and 2. I think they live just about, 20 minutes away from each other. So That 87-37, maintaining not only a good relationship physically, a good relationship virtually as well, as one car gets all the way to the double yellow. That's Brady Wildman. Well, you see this whole back half of the field sort of trying to get organized.
Yeah, still kind of disconnected right now. As you see, the 92 of Mirabello is going to drop some spots as he's up there all alone right now. As we slowly approach the halfway point here tonight. Looks like we're going to stay single file for right now, which is probably the best way given the couple incidents you've had so far tonight. Even though the couple incidents we have had could have been way worse than they were.
Andren gonna peek to the high side. We'll see if Schmidt goes with him, and indeed he does so. So Schmidt gonna help the 37, but the 20 of Demantova said otherwise. And Schmidt's gonna be left all to dry by his own as the 37 drops in front of his teammate.
Yeah, good move there from Bundren. Got exactly what he wanted out of it, and that's the race lead. And looks like Schmidt, and I don't think he's gonna be able to slot in front of Brinkley. So he's gonna drop another couple spots and look behind. Those cars that started single file have already become double file, and there's a big train of cars on both the bottom and the top. And look at Urich and the run he's getting. This is where we're going to start to see the outside form up all over again.
Yeah, this is also where that hazard level is going to jump up a couple of tiers, because that whole entire back half of the field is going to swamp this whole entire front line. Speaking of, there you go!
Wildman into the outside wall, caution back out, and he gets clobbered twice. Our pole sitter in big trouble here. There's the 92 of Mirabello down into the inside wall. Caution number 5 on the night here down the backstretch. And one of the cars with the most damage, our pole sitter, Braley Wildman. There's John Lynch, the 90, with a lot of damage as well. And we'll got to look and see what happened here. But a lot of damage, unfortunately, to the car that started P1 tonight.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. But yeah, as I mentioned, that back half of the field, which was a bit disorganized off that restart, is gonna start swamping these drivers up to the front. And those drivers who try to make a charge up there in that second line, they got disorganized because of it, and a big wreck ensues down the backstretch. We're gonna see what happened here off the replay, but it all got started when that 44, your pole sitter, Brady Wildman, got turned, and that has to be frustrating for Wildman. Coming in here.
Up there all night.
Yeah, was up there all night, and seems as though it's just a bad push.
Yeah, out of 2, he's going to jump up to the high side here. And that's Nick Miller in the 19 and Sartaj in the 49. Looks like he just got a bad bump from Nick. And I believe him and Sartaj. And there's the 90 getting into him. And gets hit again right there. There's the 92 of Mirabello sliding down to the inside. But a tough break. And again, up there all night tonight after winning the pole. Led quite a few laps, and now he's junk.
Yeah, Miller didn't push that 44 Wildman right. It was a bit off center, and I mentioned about it earlier. You got to be center when pushing, and Miller wasn't center, and he ended up bang right there. That was a hard hit. The 5 also got in it. That was a hard hit. That was Brendan Palnetto, who also got clipped there at the end of that mix, but
I'm not sure who the second car that hit Weileman was. And we'll see. Looks like Urich got a piece. I think Sartaj saved it. There's Frimpong sliding through the grass. And a couple of them spun, I think, up there, merging back up off the grass. We'll see if any other contact was made, but everybody taking evasive action down there. So Bundren will lead here as we'll hit the halfway point this time by. But our pole sitter likely done for the night.
We're eliminating a lot of cars off of this, off of these big wrecks. Only left with currently 20 on the lead lap, but I'm pretty sure that number's going to dwindle down because got a bunch of cars who got damaged off of that exchange. Palnetto got damaged. Olsen, we didn't mention him. That 59, he got a lot of damage off of that.
He must have been the second one that hit Weileman.
Yeah, Miller, he's a lap down. He's damaged. Brody's 3 laps down in 23rd, but... Hate to see it. I know it might be like a bit of a, you know, a funny reference, you know, oh, you hate to see it, but you honestly do. You hate to see it.
Yeah, it was bound to happen with the way everybody was starting to stack up top. That's what happens a lot of times when you have the restart single file like that. Eventually, a lot of those cars are going to get the big runs and bottle themselves up, and that's unfortunately what happens as we'll get the one to green. And I think we have more people topping off on fuel, so we may end up seeing the exact same thing happen again on this restart.
But now with the less amount of cars, I think it wouldn't pose too much of an issue now than what it was previously, but I think we got, it's like 20 cars on the lead lap, but a bunch of them are damaged, so I'm curious to see who's damaged and who isn't, but Bondren looks fine, McKinney looks fine, Demantova's fine, Schmidt looks good. Everybody in this whole entire main pack is still good. Let me scroll back here to Frimpong. He looks fine. The 63, excuse me, Storm Patterson. He looks cool. Sertage, who is right in front of that, right behind that incident. He looks okay. Yurik in the 6, he looks fine. Parker, DeAngelis, 24 Tabor. They all look good. Then after that, we start to get to the damaged cars. Latham in that 3, he's severely damaged. Marabella, we saw him hit the inside wall. Olsen, his whole front end is gone. Kenner, he looks severely damaged. Palnetto, that 5, we saw him involved in that wreck. And the Brady Wildman, seems as though he's disconnected. So we're gonna be left with 19 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, slowly whittling the field down.
Alright, try it again. Pace car is on pit road. Hopefully we don't get an incident like that. As the green flag is out. Big jump there by Bridger Olsen. He's going to shoot to the high side and maybe pick up the lead, but he has a bunch of front end damage. And he does scoot himself down to the apron to get himself, you know, I guess a lap, or at least try to get a lap ahead, but you know, with that front end, that was just not going to work.
Yeah, that caught me off guard right there, as we have 39 to go this time, and I think the window was 28 to 32, so I don't know if you'll be anyone that pits this time. I don't know if you can save to the end just yet. I think we're going to need one more yellow to come out in order to save enough to make it to the end, so we'll see how many yellows we end up getting from here on out and who decides to pit when. But already, you see a couple of cars bunching up now around 7th or 8th place as the top 5 goes single file out of 4.
Yeah, but I think now with the amount of cars we have left on the racetrack, I don't think we're gonna see a lot of big moves being made unless you see like some sort of big run. So this is gonna be the opportunity for us to go ahead and just scroll through the field for the moment. There's a big move being made there by the 19 and Miller. He's not gonna go anywhere though. But I think once we get settled in, we'll go ahead and scroll through the field through this halfway point. But the outside line is starting to saturate. Got 5 cars up against 4. And it looks like as though it's going to be
we got disconnected though.
It's Brinkley in the 72 getting a push from the 19 and Miller. They're going to try to make a run toward the front. 10 cars up in this main draft, looking for the lead.
Yeah, Yurik was up there but dove back to the bottom, but that gap will be filled by Frimpong in the 53 and Storm Patterson in the 63. So now I got 5 on 5 here between the inside and the outside. Advantage still to the inside line right now, as Bondren paces the field with 37 to go.
Bit of a checkup there with the 20 and Demento. He had a layoff at the 87 to prevent from running him over. And that pulls the outside line forward just a slight bit. Here comes the 72 of Blaze Brinkley. Big push there with the 19 of Miller. Also has Sertage Mon, and as well as...
Whoa!
We can make it Mark Frimpong in that 53, also in there as well. But here we go, yet again, of lap cars staying down low. Bondren had to wash up all the way against the outside wall. We're going to go 3 wide because of it.
Yeah, 3 wide for the lead. We saw that happen 2 cautions ago, where we had the cars trying to bunch up, and a door there, I think from Miller onto Brinkley by accident, of course, as they're all trying to gather it up again here into turn 1. So it's the second time in about 15 or so laps that a lapped car at the bottom out of turn 4 has caused the field to kind of go scurrying all over the place. Thankfully, this time they didn't wreck, but they came pretty close.
Yeah, and Bundren, he washed up big time. He took that car from the double yellow all the way against the safer barrier. He could have ran that second lane and just told everybody on the radio, but that he was going to pull a bit up just a lane, but that 37, he pulled up a bit too much, and it caused him to stack up just a slight bit, nearly caused an incident.
Yeah, and it looks like he's down to about 10th place now, so he was in the race lead, but as a result of that whole exchange, looks like we'll fall to about 9th place for right now. But again, there's still plenty of time left to try to gain those spots back, but with him being up there on the top, looks like he'll probably lose a couple more before all said and done.
You also got to mention the 19 and Nick Miller, he's a lap down currently, so Miller in this number 19, not a part of this lead lap. He's on lap 45, and he's leading this outside line. So for the lead, it's going to be with Sertaj Mon and the 72, Blaze Brinkley. But it seems as though Miller's going to be able to clear down to the bottom. So that means Miller is a lead lap car, just not running for the lead.
Yeah, he's managed to unlap himself for the time being, but the big run on top from with Sartaj and Frimpong and the 49 will clear down to the bottom as Miller once again goes a lap down. And at this point, I think the pack is probably okay with Miller being there. Of course, you know, he still has all the pace he had before going a lap down. So, and this will also benefit him because if a yellow comes out, he will be the first car lap down by virtue of running with the leaders. So Miller did a good job right now of keeping himself up there in that free pass spot.
Trying to take it 3 wide. It's the 2 6s of Storm Patterson and Max Yerk trying to make something happen. Of course, Storm Patterson in the 63 in a custom scheme. And the 6 of Yerk running that iRacing stamped car. Third in line, third and fourth in line, up on that high side, trying to work with each other. We're encountering a lot of lap traffic as the 19 Miller yet again stabs the apron just a bit. Gonna check up the inside line.
We've seen quite a few apron hits here tonight. Thankfully, that one didn't do much by way of damage, of course, as Frimpong's hitting a big shot from Schmidt down the backstretch. Won't be enough to clear down into 3, as looks like that's Olsen staying out of harm's way up top, but that run does end up being enough as the 53 attempts to clear down, but washed up a little bit while doing so. He'll take the lead nonetheless, and for the first time tonight, Mark Frimpong will lead this field.
Great to see that 53 of Frimpong to the front. I know how good a super speedway racer he is, and that 53 connects to the top of the board. He's going to be joined in with the 49, Sertaj Mon, as well as Nick Miller, second and third, as the leaderboard's going to glitch yet again because Frimpong did not grid up for the start of the race. He decided to pit start, which is why is sort of screwed up yet again.
And Schmidt just got taken 3 wide by Yerk and Storm Patterson, but he'll jump down onto the bottom lane to stop the bleeding there. But right now, Yerk and Patterson are really the only 2 cars up there, and of course, just as I say that, Miller and Brinkley jump up to the top, as does Schmidt. So Miller with another opportunity here to unlap himself here on lap 50.
Yeah, has a huge push there from the 72 of Brinkley. That outside line saturates to 6 cars, and that 19 of Miller is going to pull himself just a nose ahead from Frimpong, just for the moment.
Yeah, Yerk took it 3 wide up top, and looks like he briefly had help from McKinney, but he jumps back down. So the 6 is going to be the odd one out here, and he'll drop some spots. Miller, I think. Oh, and Frimpong washed up into Brinkley. That was a close call right there. But I was going to say Miller has the ability to drop down, but I think he may have been waiting for Brinkley too, and he gets turned off the bumper of Frimpong. He was not clear of the 53, and around he goes. There's Mark trying to merge back in line. No caution, unfortunately, so a tough break there for Brinkley. And now it's going to be Schmidt taking over the lead as the 72 just now gets it going.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
It just wasn't clear.
Wasn't clear, and ended up Frimpong and Frimpong and Brinkley collided. To the back they go, and Frimpong's going to be able to latch on to this, you know. He's still up to speed, but Brinkley isn't.
Yeah, you see Riley Mirabello there in the 92, and Pauletto in the 5. They'll go another lap down. They're on the high side, and the 5 bounces off the wall into the Urich, and here we go again. I don't know what happened there, but a big wreck's huge Mirabello comes up the hill and clobbers somebody. The caution is still not out yet.
I don't know
how. Now it is. Bondren's destroyed, but the 5, the slower car, was staying up there to let the leaders go, and he just bounced off the wall and took about 10 people out.
Oh man, that has to be the biggest wreck of the night. And
oh
man, oh my goodness.
Well, a tough way for a lot of these guys' races to end, but this will make everybody good on fuel to the end once they pit this time. But you see the 5 there, I think he just got a bit loose on the high side out of 4. He overcorrects right into Urich, who had nowhere to go. He keeps it straight, but the 5 bounces off the wall again, clips a 20 of D. Mantova right into Bundren and Storm Patterson. They come back up the hill, and then here comes Mirabello in the 92s and a clobber the 6 right there and just blocks the track completely. There's Hayes Booth in the 2 in the middle of that. I think there's Frimpong sliding through the grass as well, and Kenner in the 98. So what quickly was one car getting loose turned into a big 10-car wreck.
Good job for Parker White. Saw that incident happening. He flung it all the way to the grass and got himself forward. But, man, that took out another chunk of lead lap cars.
Yeah, this number gets smaller and smaller as everybody will hit pit road again. Or most everybody. But anybody that does pit this time will be good on fuel to the end of the race now. And that was an odd one for sure.
Yikes. Yurich's going to have a lot of damage on this front end. And I'm not really sure what the 5 was doing. And sparked off a big wreck. We're going to have a bunch of damaged cars, unfortunately. And with these Xfinity cars, it's not like the truck in which you get a small bit of damage. You're going to be okay. These Xfinity cars are very air dependent. You know, with this low downforce package, any small bit of damage is gonna kill any type of momentum. So just because the 6 of Urich doesn't look as badly damaged doesn't mean, you know, he's gonna be 5 miles off pace and such like that. So we'll have to see on how it'll all go. But everybody hits pit road. See McKinney's on in. No surprise. 4 tires on his call. Paul Netto looks like was disqualified off of that incident, unfortunately, so that 5 out of tonight's race.
Yeah, and he got a lot of damage too, so I don't know if he would have been able to continue anyway. But, yeah, tough break for a lot of those guys that were involved there.
If you're now just joining us here for tonight's event, iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series here on lap 54 out of 80, coming down to closing time here for these last 25-ish laps. So a C-Fix sprint from this point forward, I guess you could shrug off, if you want to compare on to the official side of things. McKinney pulls himself to the front, and we do not have a lot of lead lap cars left in this thing. So, with at least, you know, 10 cars, or I'd say 10 cars at minimum, and still have a chance to win here tonight. We'll have to see on how it'll all go, but this also gives us some time to, you know, scroll through the field real quick, see on how everybody is doing right now on the racetrack. And you see up front at 87 of McKinney, who's going to elect to stay out. He's going to pick up the race lead. He's led 12 laps so far, starting himself all the way back in 11th. And was as low as 24th. Blaze McKinney, currently your leader. William Schmidt here in the 79. He sits in second spot. was as low as 31st. Actually started in that position. He's led 3 laps so far. Sertaj Mon, looks like he, nor Frank DeAngelis, their stats are not popping up because they both pit started. Henry Tabor in this number 24 is the next car we're going to talk about. He's yet to lead a lap so far. He started himself as low as 37th. So all the way in the tail end of the field is that 24. And he now sits in a 5th spot inside the top 5. Yerk in the 6 was involved in that incident with the 5, Paul Neto. He's yet to lead a lap in this number 6. He was as low as 35th. He started there as well. He's now up to 6th spot. Was as high as 4th. Miller in the 19. He's led 4 laps so far. Was as low as 36th.
And I think he was on the lead lap when that yellow came out as well. Sam Bracho in the... Or Brachu, apologies if that's pronounced, around the 25. Running looks like in P8 or P9 right now. Oh no, he's a lapped car, I think. Oh, no, he's second. I'm dumb.
Yeah, it looks like it skipped over him.
Yeah, just missed him there. Pace car back on pit road regardless, though. 25 to go at the line. We're back underway in another single file restart with everybody topping off. And at this point, I believe everybody that just pit will be good to the end on fuel. So it'll no longer be a fuel mileage race, and it'll just be a dash to the end.
McKinney washes up. Slides himself back into line. 72 of Brinkley had a hole in line, but looks like it's not going to take it. Sertaj and DeAngelis both going to drop to the apron. And you see all those cars. I mean, what was a 37-car field has now dwindled down to only 15 on the lead lap. And I'd say 10 of these drivers, 10 of the 15, are still competitive. And with that many drivers left in tonight's, that many competitive drivers left to duke it out for the win. If you're sitting all the way back on the lead lap toward the tail end, I think you have the eligibility to, chill it out until 5 to go. No reason to push the issue to get track position or something. So...
And there's only about 15 cars on the lead lap.
Right.
So if you're one of those at about 12th or 13th, I mean, why not just chill back there? Maybe it's about 10 laps to go or so. And you see a little bit of side-by-side racing further back, but the top 6 or 7 look like are going to run single file for right now. And so it's like the 69 of DeAngelis and the 95 of Parker White and Frimpong, the 3 cars up there. And we'll see how much of a run they can get here as we hit 23 to go.
Yeah, so if you'd say we had 25 competitive cars still in this running, I'd say you want to push the issue with 15 or 10 laps to go, but since there's not a lot of competitive cars, by means of competitive cars, people who are undamaged, not people who are, have been running toward the front, as William Schmidt's going to make a move to the outside for the lead. Whoa! Oh! Big shuffle there with Frimpong and Urich.
Yeah. And both of those cars just picked up damage in that most recent incident, but DeAngelis and White take their momentum all the way to the race lead, and they will come down to the bottom 1-2 after restarting, I think, around 10th or 12th. So good job by both of them to get themselves up there, as it looks like Schmidt will now lead that top side.
Yeah, Schmidt got split 3 wide off of that exchange, and he's picking up Frimpong in the 53. We'll see where they go, but as I said, since there's not a lot of lead cars in this, there's not a lot of cars in this lead draft, you could go ahead, lay it back, and you can work yourself to the front with 5 laps to go and stuff like that. So I'll have to see on how it'll all go, as here we go for the lead. It's Brinkley up on the high side. Never mind that. Miller's going to leave him out. Miller's going to go to 3rd.
Yeah, Miller, just after being a lap down, now finds himself up in P3, trying to win here at Daytona for the 2nd night in a row after winning the ACOG truck race last night. Doing a good job keeping he's done a good job keeping himself clean so far tonight, and has himself in a good position right now, coming to 20 laps to go. We'll see if he can time the moves right along with everybody else.
Now we'll have to see as they work themselves down the back straightaway. 3 cars all on the bottom side of the racetrack as they work around the 92 of Riley Marabello. D'Angela's still leading this thing. Parker White's been loyal to that number 69 ever since they took the lead. But I'm pretty sure Parker, once he gets the chance to pull out, which is going to be now, he'll gun for the top spot. And to the race lead, 95 of Parker. He might have... I don't think he let out at the line. No, it looks like he did, but just by a smidge.
Yeah, that incident that happened that put us under that most recent caution was a big break as well for Blaze Brinkley in the 72, who we saw get turned off the bumper of Mark Frimpong a couple laps before that. He didn't go a lap down before the yellow came out. He didn't really suffer much by way of damage, so now he's back up in this top 10 mix, third on the bottom, with a renewed chance at victory here in that 72 car.
Yep, that's right. You see that 72 there on the bottom side. Third car in line is to work themselves to the front straightaway. The 87 will shoot the 95 to the bottom side, and to the race lead goes Parker White in that 95.
Yeah, Parker, a really good super speedway racer now, leads this field with under 20 to go. But there's a lot of drivers looking for this win as well. So we'll see if we can hold them all off. But here comes McKinney with help from, I believe, Schmidt up there. See if we can get the lead away.
We'll have to see, though. That 87's making a good charge, and Schmidt's making a nice challenge up for third for right now. Unfortunately, he's just stalled out, going nowhere as Sertage and Frimpong are going to work themselves up to the high side. That outside line, basically. They're stalling out. Miller, if he gets the chance to, he'll probably pull in front of this 87. Maybe make a charge for this top spot, but right now, no argument there as he's stuck on the bottom.
Yeah, still plenty of time, though, of course. I mean, you look at the leaderboard and it says 18 to go, and you might not think there's a lot of time, but with this few cars up here, there's only about, I think, 10 or 12 cars in this lead pack. That still is plenty of time to make a move, and of course, in a situation like this, you don't want to wait too long to make it either before you get blocked and don't have another opportunity to try again. So it's not a bad thing that they're all like this right now. But it's just a matter of when you time the move. And speaking of which, there goes D'Angelo's looking for the lead up top, but McKinney takes it 3 wide above him.
Fortunately for McKinney, I don't think that 3 wide move was very smart. He's not going to have any help, and with very few cars left here on the racetrack, of course he's not going to get that help as he goes from, I'd say, 4th place all the way back to 10th. And to the front, that 69 of D'Angelo's. Huge bump there from William Schmidt, and the 69 shoots half a car length ahead in the 95, clears into the corner. Parker White's not going to be able to maybe to pull up to the high side in front of Schmidt, because Schmidt had a run rolling there up at the high side, and Schmidt now going to be side by side with Parker.
Yes, the laps dwindle down some more. Just 16 to go now. Advantage to the inside line right now is only 3 cars reside up top. But we'll see if they decide to stay up there or if they decide to file back in line for the time being. But Frimpong looks like he'll go down to the inside, and Sartage took it 3 wide briefly above Schmidt. So I think for right now we might see them try to file in to the bottom. Maybe we'll go single file. It's about 5 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, that did not help Schmidt's case in that 79 with Sertage taking it 3. That outside line basically dissolved, and Schmidt goes from inside this top 5 all the way now residing back in 8th or 9th, as still the inside line is working around this 79. But now, since everybody's single file, it's all going to matter on who's going to pull out and make a run there at the high side. Who's going to go with who now, and how long do you want to wait?
Yeah, I think I'd go personally with about 5 or 6 to go. If I'm somebody like Miller or Brinkley, I think that's about when I'd go. Maybe 3 or 4 to go. Because the thing you really have to balance is, going late enough where, there's not enough time for the person you're passing to counteract it. But you also don't want to wait too long, because if you get blocked, you yourself may not have enough time to make another move. So timing it perfectly and getting all those things right is the key to getting to the victory lane. We saw Nick Miller do it perfectly last night. We'll see who can do it perfectly here tonight.
Yep, that's right, as Miller sits 5th in line in that number 19. Currently sandwiched between the 95 and the 72. Caution comes out! Oh man, that's
This is way out of the running, or the way out of the made pack, I think.
Yeah, and
I don't know where this was.
No clue either.
But it'll bring us under the yellow, coming to 13 to go. I have no clue where... Oh! Yerk just bounced off the wall and clipped the 98 of Michael Kenner. I don't know what the deal there was.
Yeah, and it brings us...
Running all by themselves. And that's got to be really frustrating for the guys in the lead pack.
Yeah, so we're under caution, and this is gonna, I wouldn't say reset things. It's just gonna bunch up a bunch of the drivers, but I think now fuel-wise, everybody's gonna be able to make it to the end. And we should see a restart here with about, I'd say, 10 laps to go?
9 or 10 to go.
Yeah, probably 9 to go. Alrighty, so drivers on in. McKinney, Miller, Brinkley. We gotta mention some drivers we haven't really talked about. Sam Brochu. Brochu in the number 25 being displayed as the 10. He what you call it? At 25,
he's made his way up there recently. I think he restarted second on the last restart.
Yeah, but
he fell back pretty quickly. I don't know if that was damage or him laying back, but he'll have a new lease on his race here with about 9 or 10 to go.
He has yet to lead a lap so far. At number 25, so we'll have to see on how that'll all go for that 25's case. But up front, though, Frank DeAngelis in that number 69 has taken that Toyota Camry and brought it to life here at the closing stages of the opener here at Daytona. If you're not just joining us here tonight, iRacing Bundren Lawn Care Series here live on a MaxspeedTV. Glad everybody could tune us in here for this race as we're closing out the event.
Yeah, started this race with 80 laps. Coming up to lap 69, lap 70. So not a lot of time left. And we were talking about a few moments ago before that yellow, when you want to try to make a move. I think with a restart with this few laps to go, I don't think you can wait now. I think if you want to make a move, you're going to have to make it right off the bat. And pretty much any opening that there is, you got to take it.
Want to go this time by Glenn Bundren in that 37, 1 lap down. He's looking for a lucky dog. The 59 of Bridger Olson, he's also 1 lap down. The 6 of Urich is gone. The 92 of Marabello is 2 laps down, so I don't think he's going to have a chance to get himself on the lead lap. Got the 9 of Drew Holleran in the 18th position. He's sitting on pit road 8 laps down. John Lynch in the 90, who's been roaming out on the racetrack. That 90 currently resides in 19th spot. So still a lot of drivers left in this thing as we come down with it's like a 10 to go restart.
Yeah, it'll be DeAngelis, Sartaj, Parker White, Brochu, and McKinney as your top 5. Miller, Frimpong, Tabor, Brinkley, and Schmidt. Or Joyner, maybe the rest of the top 10. And Latham being back on the lead lap is pretty impressive. He got all that damage earlier on after running into the flipped car of Alexander Schumacher. But he's toughed it out, and now with 10 to go, he's back on the lead lap. So even though he may not have the pace to keep up there, if another wreck happens, maybe on the white flag lap, he's put himself in a good position to maybe pick up a couple spots that way.
Yeah, with not a lot of cars on the lead lap, easily pick up a top 10 if they do wreck it on the white. So we'll have to see on how that 3's case will go as the pace car scoots itself on in. Green. As the 69 of Frank DeAngelis alongside the 95, not the 95, the 49 of Sertaj Mon will lead this thing to the, I want to say, penultimate restart. It might just be.
Might be the last restart, might be the penultimate one, we'll see. But again, now that we have a restart with this few laps to go, I don't think you can wait at all to make a move. So it would not surprise me at all to see 3 wide here fairly quickly. But it'll be a matter of who decides to try it first, and if enough cars can go up there to make it worth their while.
Baroshu gives a nice tap to that 49 of Sertaj. He knows there's ahead coming into 3, but the inside line's going to pull forward through the corner, that inside line to fruition. And the 95 of Parker White doing a nice job to keep that 69 of Frank DeAngelis to the front. Frank is now cleared that high side. He could block up to the high side and stall out the 49 of Sertaj Mon. Not going to take the bait, though, or not going to take the chance to. As he's getting a handful of that 95 of Parker White.
Looks like a 10-car breakaway here for the win. As I think the slower cars that are on the lead lap have already been filed out of line. So with a 10-car breakaway, I think it's going to take at least maybe 4 cars to jump up to the high side and make a third lane work. If there's less than 4, I don't know if it's going to really work out that well. But we'll see who ends up being ambitious enough to try it. As you already have 6 in the middle lane, we'll see how many of these 6 maybe jump up top.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much of 3 wide either. You have to have a lot of cars to make a third line work, and with this many cars left in the field, if you're going to see 3 wide, it's going to be a single guy getting left out. Perfect example right there is that Broshu swung out.
And
I think he had to get some room, and nobody went with him.
Yeah, so he'll drop down to 10th in this main pack. And it was a decent idea, just it looks like nobody else is up for it right now. I mean, maybe we'll see a couple other people try it, but looks like nobody wants to yet. As DeAngelis and Sartaj still side by side for the race lead, and Brochu looks like he's actually losing the draft. So maybe he has some damage of some kind, and that was them filing him out of line.
No, I'm not really sure, but 10 cars still remain in this draft as we hit 7 laps to go. If we were to see a 3 wide move be made, it has to happen on the white flag, because that'll be like a last-ditch effort to make something of positions, either down the back straightaway or coming off the turn number 4. But we'll have to see as Broshu does connect back with this lead pack. But, oh, a bit of blinking there, but the 49, or Sertaj, I think he's, no, never mind, he's not inside of the 87, but typically, if you blink like that, things are going to go a bit sour as the 49 got a bit off-center there for a moment. Blaze had to back out of it just a bit, and that result has shot DeAngelis clear ahead.
Yeah, they got a bit squirrely there as we'll come up to 6 laps to go here at the stripe. Still 2x2 through this 10-car pack. And Blaze has been doing all he can to push the 49 of Sartaj, but just hasn't quite been able to push him enough where the 49 can clear down in front of DeAngelis, and time is starting to run out for him to be able to do that.
Yeah, again, I think if you were to make a move now, you want to make it with, I'd say, 5 laps to go to put yourself in position. And we're coming up to that 5 laps to go mark, so anybody within this, I'd say top 4 all have a chance to maybe pick up this race win. We'll just have to see on where they are once we do hit the white flag, because once we hit the white flag, it's all bets are off. No cautions on the white.
I think McKinney might be debating on taking it 3 wide. You see him peeking the nose out up top a couple times. I think he's starting to think about it, but again, while it would be a good move to try to net him the win, it's a matter of him trying to convince other people in that middle lane to go up there with him. And it looks like Sartaj will file down to the bottom and will take the lead away from DeAngelis. So that's 1 less car in that outside lane now. And with only 4 cars up there, I think 3 wide might be looking less and less likely now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So instead of Blaze trying to convince Schmidt to go take it 3, looks like Blaze is going to have a shot to get the lead on that outside lane with himself and that number 79 in the middle lane. But 4 laps to go. And it all comes down to how hot your engine is now. Can you push in time to pull your line forward enough to keep yourself ahead coming to the start-finish line? We'll have to see as the 69 of DeAngelis, he momentarily got clear of the 87, decided not to pull out, and that in result is going to keep him second in line, but he's going to have a big shot coming here into 3 and 4 to maybe hop up to the high side.
I don't know if he'll be able to. Blaze has a good run here from Schmidt in the middle of 3 and 4. I think that gap is just closed up on DeAngelis, so he's going to have to wait a little bit if he wants to do that. With 3 laps to go at the line, I think the 69 definitely wants to pull out, but at this point it's hoping that there's enough of a gap to do it again, because Blaze and Schmidt are having a great run right now up top.
We'll have to see. Usually the inside line surges forward on the turns, so this is Frank's shot. He's clear now. He has to pull out down the back. Oh, looks like couldn't get clear of the 87 just yet.
I think Blaze might have been pinching him, but I think Blaze might have been pinching him there with the slower car up top, but Frank will pull out onto the high side now in front of McKinney. We'll see if he can get clear of Sartaj here, but I don't think he can just yet, as we're coming up on 2 laps to go. And there we go, we got some 3 wide. They're thinking about it up there. McKinney jumps up. Now we got 3x3 with 2 to go in the race.
Oh man, and the line with the less amount of cars is gonna dwindle back, and that'll be the middle line. So this is gonna pull Parker White. A huge opportunity to grab this race lead, and not only that, Miller's gonna be clear as well. So we'll see if the 19 could pull out with this 95 down the back.
Yeah, and I think Sartaj is gonna have to block if he does, and there they go. They're moving up as the 3rd line collapses, and that's going to send McKinney in the wrong direction. And you see Sartaj doing everything he can right now to keep that 95 behind him, and with the 3rd line collapsing, DeAngelis and Schmidt have another shot.
We'll have to see. Parker's clear. That 69, they're going to be blocking, though. There they go!
And around goes Nick Miller in the 19. White flag is out. No caution. It's all or nothing now. Who will come out on top?
We mentioned about Latham Joyner getting positions. Well, there's one right there. White flag this time by 2.5 miles left. It all comes down to this. 9 cars up in the mix for this battle for the lead. It's Sartaj Vaughn in the number 49. Going to be leading this thing, but Frank DeAngelis making a huge case up on the high side.
Yeah, and Sartaj can't come up to block. Frank is too even with him right now. Schmidt's all over his back bumper, and Brinkley and Frimpong are tucked in as well. And into turn 3, they're even pretty much side by side. The inside pulls ahead a little bit in the turns, and that's going to help Sartaj. And the outside line collapses. McKinney's going to spin, and out of turn 4, here comes Parkwhite moving up to the top. He's going to block Sartaj, crossover move to the tri-oval, but at the line, it's going to be Sartaj Mon taking the win at Daytona.
Woohoo! Talk about perfect driving by the 49. He timed it all well.
As they wreck across the line, but the man that made the best move, the 49 is Sartaj, and he emerges victorious here after 80 laps at Daytona.
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, he made the move right. I thought Parker White had it made as soon as he got off of 4. He had a nice, viable shot to grab the lead, to grab the win, but unfortunately, the run didn't go. It didn't go for him, and Sartaj, he pulled a perfect block there off of 4. That was beautiful.
Well, I thought the 49 was going to get turned trying to block, but thankfully for him, he didn't. So a job well done there for Sartaj. And he opens up Season 4 of the Bungeon Lawn Care Series with a hard-earned victory. And he'll burn it down here on the front stretch.
As that's pretty as it gets for the 49 of Sartaj Mon. Win number 1 of the season coming up here at Daytona. Congratulations to him pulling off a well-earned victory here tonight for the Bungeon Lawn Care Series opener at Daytona. Full results going to be shown on your screen. Sartaj Mon wins over Parker White by .095. DeAngelis comes up short in 3rd place. Frimpong in 4th. Schmidt comes home with a top 5. Henry Tabor, Blaze Brinkley, Sam Brochu, Blaze McKinney, and Nick Miller round out the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, Nick, despite getting spun, still managed to hang on for a top 10. As we'll see with the 11th through 20th here. Michael Kenner in 11th. Latham Joyner, last car on the lead lap, in 12th. Hayes Booth in 13th. League owner Glenn Bungeon there in 14th. Bridger Olson, Riley Marabello, Max Yerrick, John Lynch, Drew Halloran, and Storm Patterson round out your top 20.
Got Shane Demantova, Brody Gardner, Brady Wildman, JJ Hill, Blake Rojon, Josh Kosick, Gabriel Edwards, Benjamin A. White, Joseph Costello, and Alexander G. Schumacher rounding out 21st through 30th.
And the last couple cars on the grid, Cameron McGowan, Jacob Tyler May, Jonathan T. Jones, Aiden Kirker, Cole Woody, and Landon Mills. And looks like Brandon Pawnetto had his scoring invalidated, so he will be your last place finisher here for tonight. The show is not over yet, though. We'll be back here in just a couple of moments for some post-race interviews. Congrats once again to Sartaj Mon, and we'll return here in just a couple minutes.
And we are here live at Daytona International Speedway. Post-race coverage presented to you here live by MaxspeedTV for this opener. Live for the Daytona 200. Congratulations to that 49 of Sir Tajman pulling off a victory here tonight at Daytona. What a race and what a drive for all those drivers here out on the racetrack. It was another fun event of super speedway racing, rounding off here Monday nights for the Spundren Lawn Care Series. And we'll go ahead and drag in our race winner of Sir Tajman into the booth. He goes, Sir Taj! That was beautiful, man, on the white flag, pulling off all those blocks, perfectly timed, and you come out victorious here tonight at Daytona, leading 11 out of the scheduled 80 laps, man. Congratulations. First thoughts?
You know, that was just crazy. You know, I thought I was gonna get myself turned pulling those blocks up, but they were necessary in order to even, you know, have a chance to win. So, I mean, it was just a crazy race in general. Just, yeah, I'm at a loss for words, really.
Luckily for you, you pick up a victory here tonight to open up the Spundren Lawn Care Series Season 4. And not only that, yeah, you're coming out here as a points leader as well. So, of course, coming to next week and such like that, starting yourself off with the right foot.
Yeah, you know, it's always great to start off as a points leader. It might not stay. Hopefully it does stay, but yeah, it's always great to win at Daytona. You know, it's just amazing, you know? Start the season off on a good foot. Great hand.
Yep, that is right. And to the race overall, man, that final run was hectic. Of course, got a caution there with 10 laps to go, and everybody's re-bunched up. Wasn't as different before that run, but, you know, it was just you and 10 cars, and luckily for you, just sum me up with that white flag and how it all went.
You know, obviously we all know Parker and how good he is, so I had to pull off some sort of magician or magic stuff on him. And I did that, but it sacrificed Nick in the doing as well, but we can take that. So
yeah, had to sacrifice Nick. Not a big loss there for that number, 19 to pull yourself off a W here tonight. Congratulations, man, to sacrifice Nick Miller for a W here tonight. You saw yourself back in 26, worked yourself up front, led 11 laps of the entire evening. Congratulations, man. But before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
All right, bud. 10 for Sir Tajman, and that 49 rounds himself out up top. We'll go ahead and see you come to your next race, man.
Yep.
Scoot ourselves back to the man he was mentioning, that 95 of Parker White, who unfortunately just going to come up short here tonight in second spot. Parker, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Parker, you were laying back toward that back half of the run and such like that. I mean, for the first 60 laps, you of course laying back and then dodging all sorts of funny wrecks and such, but once it came down to go time, you were the man to watch out for, and of course you worked yourself to the front, but unfortunately couldn't pull off the W here for this race. What just went different?
Yeah, there was a ton of us in a VC that all decided to pit start. Like, I qualified in third. I was only going to go for the pole, and I didn't get it, so I just pit started, and we all came out of the pits. I think I was like 4 seconds ahead of all of them because I had the third place pit box, so we got an early yellow, so that bunched the field back up, and then we all stayed in the back, and then eventually there was just so many cars that got taken out to the point where we all just started going to the front, and we kept doing that as the race went on, and we picked the right time to go, and by the end of it, we had like 4 of us that finished in the top 4, so we played the strategy right. I was just looking for a good points day just to carry me out through the season, so I guess I did my job here today.
Yep, and you ran yourself out second, leading 4 laps. Started yourself, well, technically, supposed to start third, but again, as you said, you pit started. I was curious, who were you working with during that in that VC?
There's so many. I have to pull up the list of the results, but I can tell you, well, Sartaj, obviously, because he won. We were working with Frank too, Mark from Pong, Nick Miller. Hold on, I'm getting the results right here. Yeah, like I was saying, all them. I'm trying to find it. Storm Patterson, Brody Garner. Yeah, there's just so many. I can't even name them all. But yeah, There's just a ton of us, and we all play the strategy, right?
Yep, indeed you did. You ran yourself out second here for tonight for the Bundren Lawn Care Series opener here at Daytona. Congratulations, man. But before I let you go, I just want to thank you for tonight.
Yeah, just gotta thank you, Zeke, for the broadcast, North Source Racing, SRD, and Stone Studios.
All right, about 10 for Parker White. Rounds himself out in second. We'll go ahead and see you coming to the next race, man.
All right, thank you.
Scoot ourselves back one more spot to Frank DeAngelis in this number 69, and into the booth goes Push the Smush in that 69. Frank led 10 laps out of the scheduled 80 here for tonight. He led, an eighth of the race, but unfortunately comes up short in third spot here tonight. A valiant effort, comes up home third. Congratulations, Frank. First thoughts?
Third kind of sucks. I mean, could have been a first, but it's a third. But as of now, we're running for points, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's sucking to finish out in third place. I mean, you were in a good position there, with about like 10 or 5ish to go, running toward the front. What just all went wrong there with that final run?
What went wrong was not in my control. I don't know who was behind me, but he thought it would be an ethical decision to continue to try to put me 3, even though out of like the 12 cars left in the pack, I was one of the 2 without damage and could actually lead or push. But they thought trying to split me 3 would be a good idea, and then ultimately the whole outside line died because of it, and then that's when Sartaj and Parker were just unpassable right after that. I don't know who it was, but I have no words.
You ran yourself out third. You said you're running here for points, so what are you looking forward to for these next couple of weeks?
Just not getting wrecked. If I just don't get wrecked or don't get any big damage, I could probably survive into the end, get away with a good finish, let alone my speed is pretty good. So if you combine all of that, you could get some pretty easy top 5s, top 3s, maybe even wins.
We'll have to see about that. Frank DeAngelis coming in here with the third place. Congratulations, man. But before I let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
Nah, no sponsors like always. Not really. Shout out to the boys, Sartaj, Parker, Max Urich, Nick Miller. Unfortunately, Nick Miller did not make the race unscathed. Sorry about that incident coming to the white. Mark Frimpong, we were all working together, and we got the first, second, third, fourth lockout. So it was fun working with them.
All right, about 10 for Frank DeAngelis rounds himself out third. We'll go ahead and see you current next race, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, and we'll scoot ourselves back. Yeah, it looks like Dewey, unfortunately. Well, we might as well drag in Frimpong into... Oh, looks like... Oh, no, he left the booth. Well, I guess that'll be it here for tonight on the Bundren Lawn Care Series opener here at Daytona. What a race from start to finish as Sartaj Mon picks up the checkered flag here tonight. And until next time, I'm not really sure when we're going to be broadcasting the next Bundren Lawn Care Series event, but we hope to see these Monday night races go on either on KBRN or here live on MaxspeedTV. So we'll have to see on how that'll all go. But regardless, Dewey's looks like Dewey just undeafened himself. Dewey?
Oh, thanks for watching.
Oh, yeah, Dewey just tuning in there last second, but we appreciate everybody tuning in here for tonight's broadcast. We'll go ahead, see you coming next Monday night, hopefully.